Load it up, Carl. This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings.
Sir, welcome to the Money Down. Back again with another episode. Shout out to Shady Rays. Some dope sunglasses, man. They supported us at NIU. Man, I'm rocking with the shades. I don't know how y'all feeling out there. We look smooth with the shades in the episode. Or we look foolish.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like Stevie Wonder with these shades, but I can't see nothing.
It is hard to see. Not gonna lie. I'll pop them off. But dope shades, man. Shout out to Shady Rays, man. You know, one of the hottest topics, in all of sports right now is NIL and college football. And just this past week or during this week, UNLV former Holy Cross quarterback Matthew Sluka decided he's going to take his red shirt. He's not playing for the rest of the year anymore because he didn't receive his $100,000 NIL money that he was promised.
It's getting serious.
Yeah, I mean, Look, it's that new era of college football now. The players taking charge. Look, I don't know if he signed something or whether he didn't sign something, prior to him going to UNLV, but clearly some type of miscommunication. He's taking the forefront of it and said, look, I'm done playing. I'm going to go elsewhere, try and get some bread somewhere else. I don't know what y'all feel about the situation. Like, I don't have a problem with it. It's just so different, man. I don't know what's that meme of. It's like, what happened to the game I love? Like, you know what I mean? It's so different now, man. Like, guys will really just stop playing because they not receiving their bread. Then you go somewhere else. And look, he may go have some success somewhere else. He may go somewhere else and nobody may ever hear from him again. Like, who knows, what may happen. So you hope this kid ends up winning, in this type of situation. But look, man, it's not easy just going from one program to another program to another program and just thinking you're going to go out there and have success. I seen a couple of his clips. He was balling. He's throwing it, running it. So he looks like he's pretty legit. I don't know how y'all feel about the situation.
I mean, that's what that's what the game is getting to these days. It's, you're making promises and guarantees to the players about, we want you, we feel like you worth this. We're gonna pay you this, and who knows? I mean, it could have been, an outside organization promising something through the school or whatever, but there's got to be some type of jurisdiction, or not jurisdiction, but just somebody something helping to enforce what the players, if you're promising a player that you're going to pay them X amount, making sure the player actually get that and what that looks like. I mean, it's just, it looked bad on the school for one, because, you promised your player this and now you got, players sitting now and makes it look like you're not sticking, living up to your promises and your guarantees. So it turns kids away from your program, but also on the same time for a player that, probably ain't got a ton of film, where you going to go next, right? You're leaving UNLV, which, is a good university, has a good program, things like that. But it ain't like you transferring to Bama next. It ain't like you transferring to Wisconsin next, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point do you play, earn what you were given or what you were promised or whatever, and see where it goes from there? But you can't, don't take the love of the game away from it just because. It's hard for me to say that. Don't take the level of the game away because you're not getting what you promised, but it's a business now.
Yeah. I mean, before you get that check. So
yeah,
for sure. and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of teetering, I'm on both ends, right? Like, from the standpoint of, you look at how he's played so far through the college football season, and you know what I'm saying, they got an opportunity. If they keep winning out, got an opportunity to really make some noise and try and sneak into that, that 12-team college football playoff. And you also leaving your teammates out to dry, right? Like, that's the brotherhood that we got. Like, something that we talk about all the time is, all them winter workouts and all them summer workouts where you struggling together with your brothers and you trying to figure it all out, and that grind to get to where y'all at now, then for you just to, take a step back and say you're going to red shirt, over some bread or over some promises that wasn't fulfilled. But on the other side, I do see, like, we are in that era now where, hey, it costs to get a top dog or a good player in your, in your program. And, I've been watching a little bit on ESPN about what's been going on. So supposedly what they were saying was the OC made a promise to him about $100,000, and then they basically saying that wasn't, the OC doesn't have the green light, that power and that green light to promise that, and nothing was signed. And, Nothing was, signed in writing. And, I feel like, it's just crazy because I feel like any parent, I know his father is involved and stuff like that. And any parent would know that, like, nothing is finalized until you sign some type of paperwork. You get what I'm saying? Like, until something's signed, you know what I'm saying? Like, until something is signed, it's all, he say, she say, right? Like, it's all, I'm saying I can do this for you, but it might not happen. And we've been seeing that a lot in college football lately. Like, it's been a lot of players that have taken a step back or have left the school just because some things haven't been fulfilled that was promised. But man, I just hope, I've kind of been in the situation, like the kind of mind frame of like, I hope UNLV figure it out. Cause at the end of the day, right, 100,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But
life change.
It's life changing bread, right? But at the same time, it's like, I don't really know what UNLV's like revenue what they generate in revenue. But man, but I hope you can find a way to cough up that 100,000 and get him back, because he is so far he has been a good player. And he presents a opportunity for you to take your program to something that it's never been to before.
I was going to say, to your point earlier, you were talking about like, the best things about, being a part of a team, right? We talk about this brotherhood, like what we got right here. I mean, bro, we're in a time right now where ain't nobody worried about brotherhood. They're trying to get that bag.
Right.
So like, if I'm assuming, right, like, obviously he's transferring in from a different program. He don't know what the brotherhood like. He not worried about that. You've promised him something in order to bring him to the university, and that's what he's looking for. And at that point, whatever's built, at the program that you build in terms of relationship comes with it. But you're looking for that money. That's what you came to the school for. You ain't come for the brotherhood and the tradition like we did when, back in the day. But, I mean, it's a different ball game now.
Yes. That's a valid point, bro. That's a really, really good point that you brought up, especially when you come in from a school like Holy Cross, which, I'm saying, I don't know what they, how they program or what they
get much bread over there, I'm sure.
You're going there for the brotherhood and the legacy and tradition.
You feel me? So now you done moved to UNLV. I want that pay, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. The nature of the game is completely changed, and I don't blame it. The kids have more power in college than like NFL players. In my opinion, you can just stop on the dime, just like how they doing. Like, I'm done. I'm out of here. Especially now, you get 4 games before you can't redshirt anymore. So this week is a huge week in all of college football for a lot of players. Yep. Hey, there might be some dudes checking out here on the sideline. Coach be like, "Hey, get in there," and be like, "Nope, I ain't going in today." Like, I'm saving my red shirt. I might be out of here tomorrow after the game. Y'all been mistreating me the whole time. So that's kind of that. You got to teeter that line with the coaches. They got to pay attention to that, at all times, what guys have played where and how much they played. Because them kids paying attention to it now.
100%.
Even USC, they got, this one of their most hyped defensive linemen, Bear Alexander. He transferred from Georgia. This a little bit. I saw this on Twitter. And he went to 4 different high schools. Even under the tweet, I think somebody said he went to 5 different high schools in high school. Went to Georgia 2022, transferred to USC 2023, 2024, 3 games at USC. Now, 2024, 3 games at USC. Now he's redshirt, talking about he's going to transfer. So this is like where we're at, at the current time. And he's supposed to be a pretty good player. And look, man, it's the nature of the game. It's weird, like for guys to be able to just move left and right. I know the NFL, I'm sure they paying attention to this. They went to IMG. I'm sure the NFL is paying attention to this. I'm sure this is going to come up in meetings. Like, why did you go from this school to this school to this school to this school? Like, what was your reasoning? Why couldn't
you last chance you?
Yeah, they true. Why can't you last at any school, for longer than a couple of years? To me, that's an issue. Like, I love that the kids get to go wherever they need to be, but why can't you just stay put for 2 years? Like, eventually you gotta look in the mirror, dog. Like, the problem might be you. Like,
it might be, no, for sure, bro. And at the same time, though, like, we gotta be realistic, man. Like, a lot of people don't make it to that next level, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now it is an opportunity for people to get to college and be able to change their family's, trajectory of, how they can live and survive, dog, through college now. Like, it used to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really got to grind and figure it out to get to the NFL to kind of, you know what I'm saying, make some money where I can, at least contribute and help moms out or help whoever out. Now you getting that in college. So I think a lot of these dudes are thinking like, we talked about it a lot, on a couple episodes ago about the politics in sports and how the NFL is a business and how I could walk into I could walk into the locker room today and then tomorrow I'm jobless now. So like, I think it's really starting to hit a lot of college players like, nah, man, I'm finna run this bag up now because I don't know what, 3-4 years when I try to get my opportunity at the next level, how it's going to look like. So, I think if I was in that position where a coach from an NFL or a GM or organization asked me like, can you stay in one spot or how's it been? And I would just tell them like, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Like, I don't know how long, I don't know how long this league stuff going to last. This could be 1 year. This could be 10 years. It could be 5 years. Like, you just never know. So I was trying to take advantage of that moment and what I could, what I could possibly make to help my family out. But it's a whole bunch of just stickiness with this whole situation.
But what's going to be the next question when it comes to that? It's like, what's more important to you? Football, that money. That's what they're going to try. Sure. That's what they're going to try and ask you. And like I said, I understand. Like, go get the bread. But we all know from majority of these kids, man, you give them that $100,000. Who knows how long that's lasting? You know what I mean?
It ain't lasting long at all.
Because give me $100,000 in college, I wouldn't have known what to do with it. I'd have spent a whole ton of it probably, and then you start running out. Then you go start to like, man, I probably should have saved that when, time get to that crunch time and, it's not looking as great for you, going to the NFL draft and all that. So it's tough, man. I'm glad these kids are making that money, but it can't just be all about the money, at the end of the day. Because look, if you perform well, I feel like the school will take care of you, at some point. I would hope. I think that's the way the game should be played. Like, you perform out there, obviously, why not? The collective or, endorsements, whatever may be, that bread, should come. So, like, I don't have a problem with any of these kids making their decisions.
I don't want to cut you off, bro, but I thought today was supposed to be Thursday was supposed to be the day that the NCAA was trying to figure out whether. So we haven't spoke about it. I haven't seen anything on Twitter yet, but I think like that's huge, right? That step of if schools are going to be able to pay players out, through whatever revenue or whatever, that's going to be a huge stepping stone. So I think after this we'll look at and see if the results came out, but that's going to be huge, man, moving forward.
Yeah, the schools need to be able to pay these players. I think that's the only way they're going to be able to put some type of, structure on this thing for the schools to directly, scale it out, pay your players based on, however you see fit, some type of salary cap. They got to put some type of salary cap on, because obviously, teams like Alabama, USC, Michigan, they're going to flood that money, and everybody ain't got that type of money to spend like some of these other schools. But we'll switch topics here. We'll switch it over to the NFL. Going into week 4, we always say like week 4 or 5, you start to really figure out, what you got on your roster, what your team really look like, whether you need to make some adjustments on defense, offense, quarterback, however you see fit, for your team to move forward and have some success. So I think we should go ahead. I've been seeing a lot of people, rank their top 5 teams in the NFL right now. I don't know if y'all ready for your list. I got mine laid out already.
Yeah, I think I got mine.
You got yours?
Yeah, I think I got mine.
For me, number 1, I'm going Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen been rolling. He's been looking like an MVP type player early on in the season. I questioned him early on to see like how he would be, whether he trying to be Superman a little too much, turn the ball over, no turnovers, spreading the ball around. They've been moving the football. Defenses look excellent. So that's my number 1 team. Number 2, I'm going to go Minnesota Vikings. Shout out my guy B-Flow. That defense is humming. They play some pretty, high-power offenses, what we'd expect to score a ton of points, and they've held their own. So, and shout out to Sam Darnold. I know he's not throwing for a ton of yards, but he's being efficient, doing what he needs to do. Defense creating turnovers, giving them short fields, and he's putting the ball in the end zone. So that's my number 2 team. Number 3, I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs, the 3-0. We obviously know what type of problems they pose to everybody. But right now, they're not playing their best football. They just find a way to win at the end of the football game. So that's why I have them at number 3 on my list. Number 4, I'm going to go Seattle Seahawks. They explosive over there on offense. DK Metcalf looked like he backed himself. They got Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith, and Jigba doing his thing. Geno handling his business. And the defense looks on point too this year. So go Seahawks, number 4. Number 5, I know the Steelers undefeated. I need to see a little bit. Yeah, I ain't put them in. I ain't put them in there. I know they're undefeated, but I just need to see. I just need to see a little bit more from the Steelers. I know they're playing well. Fields is playing well. Defense is doing their thing. I just think at some point they're gonna get really challenged, and I want to see what Justin Fields does with that. I'm gonna go with the Detroit Lions still. They 2-1. I love their run game. I love how physical they can be. I know they lost last week. I just feel like they present a lot of problems to many teams because the way their style of play, they're just so aggressive. I mean, obviously Dan Campbell, he's over aggressive sometimes.
Yeah.
Their defense looks on par this year. They're like top 10 in scoring defense. I know they struggle with the defense a little bit in previous years. So that's my number 5 team, y'all.
Dang, you just completely Florida Stated the Pittsburgh Steelers. Golly.
I mean,
I feel them though.
Boys on the field. I'm just playing. But that's crazy.
I'm gonna say, bro, your list to a T was. I agree with every team on there except I would have put Pittsburgh in there, right? And I mean, everybody got a different way of winning ball games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it don't always look the same. And I just think that's what Pittsburgh is right now. Like, they whole thing is, hey, we're gonna beat you with great defense, and you know what I'm saying, Justin, go out there and make a couple plays, and you know what I'm saying, like, we're gonna go out there and stop a lot of these teams. If we score 14 points and you score 10. Who cares? It's a dub, right? So The only thing with that is, how long does that last? I know they schedule get real tough in the back end. So it's important for them to keep winning these games now, you know what I'm saying, so that they'll have a little bit cushion later on. But everybody else, I agree with. The team that's surprising to me is Seattle, bro. I think Seattle, man, going to present a lot of problems, dog. Like, this is the weapons that they have on the outside is what we've been like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've been waiting on for them to be able to take that next step. DK, he's a mismatch regardless of whoever you put on him. I don't care if you put the best corner in the league or you try to figure out, he a mismatch. He big, physical. I know a lot of them boys out there don't want to deal with him. He be on one out there. He be tripping. You don't even want to deal with that type. But you know what I'm saying? And then, obviously, Lockett and Jitman, like, them boys, they them little shifty dudes that, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to deal with either. So at the end of the day, it all come down to how Geno play, and the way he playing right now, he look like he ready to go. So I hope they can sustain that and keep going, man. But everybody else, I agree with.
My top 5 was different. I did Florida State somebody too, but it wasn't the Steelers. I think for me, my number 1 was Minnesota. I'm giving them number 1. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm actually giving it to Kansas City till I see otherwise. I mean, I'm just by default. I mean, we know what Kansas City is. I mean, and truth be told, like, we see this, I feel like, at the start of the last couple seasons with Kansas City, where they're not playing their best ball and they don't hit their best ball till like mid-season, and they're still beating people at the beginning of the season. So I'm gonna give it to them just until I see otherwise. A different ending outside of them winning the Super Bowl. So I gotta give credit where credit is due with how Kansas City is playing. My number 2 is gonna be Minnesota. Sam Darnold's playing well. He's managing that game well. He's managing the offense well. I mean, they have weapons on the offensive side. Aaron Jones is playing well. Jay Jettas. And then their defense, shout out to, like you said, Brian Flores. Shout out to him and what he's got going on over there, because they're confusing teams. Like,
it's crazy.
Crazy.
How you read that out?
Yeah, bro. That whole. What do we call it? Double mug dropping in the cover 2.
That boy running
the way he
mug
playing with Harrison Smith, bro, is crazy, bro. It's crazy, and it's gonna give a lot of teams problems, because there's no way you game plan for that, because he can show you so many different things with the way he runs the defense, which is I think it's gonna be hard to beat. Number 3, I actually got Pittsburgh. I mean, they are 3-0. I think as Justin Fields continues to get more comfortable, things will continue to open up for him, and he's going to continue to get used to the offense. I don't think they fully used all of their offensive weapons. Like I said, we got to be able to they got to be able to get the ball to George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth and guys like that. They got to be. It's similar, like we said to similar to like we said to New England, right? Being able to show the passing game outside of what you can do running the ball. And obviously their defense is ridiculous.
Always going to be on point. Yeah.
Always going to be on point. My number 4, I'm actually going to go with Seattle. I agree with that. Seattle's playing some really good ball right now. We're actually seeing, them utilize the outside receivers. Jackson Smith and Jake was coming into his own. He's playing very well. DK Metcalf's dominating. So really enjoying watching Seattle play right now. Now, they're going to lose when they play the Rams, and we're going to have this conversation again here in a few weeks. We're gonna some things will change. Rams will be in the top 5. I'm calling that. And then my number 5, I'm taking out Buffalo. Like Buffalo, don't get me wrong. I'm taking out Buffalo. I think they're playing something.
Jump to the screen.
I'm trying to figure out who the hell you gonna put in for Buffalo.
Bro, I'm going with New Orleans. I love the way New Orleans is playing. Okay. They just came out of a really close game with a really good Philadelphia team. I think Philadelphia is a very good team, but the way New Orleans is playing, the way Derek Carr has elevated his game, Alvin Kamara is still looking like the Alvin Kamara of old. Like, they're rolling. And I want to continue to give them that. Obviously, again, they did come off of a tough, close loss. It ain't like they got blown out. They lost by like 2 points. I can't take that away from them, right? And I want to see how that continues to roll throughout the rest of the season. But like I said, I'm sorry. I've been on Buffalo for the last few weeks. I've been on their head for the last few weeks. Forgive me, dog, but I don't believe in it yet. I don't believe in it.
You want to know what's so crazy, man? Like, just hearing you talk about Minnesota and explain it, and us talking about the double mugs and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to sound crazy, but if Minnesota stays healthy, they'll be in the NFC Championship, bro.
Oh,
and
I don't
see a quarterback in the NFC that I feel like is here yet enough to be able to figure out what B-Flow is doing. Like, I think people might like, if you know football and you watch and you study it and that shit they doing in the back end is like
definitely not in the North. So they definitely got to take it to the
mad scientist stuff, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm just trying to sit here and think of a quarterback that I think will be like capable of just sitting there in game and like trying to figure it out. And he the only person that came to mind. But it's like I don't know if they get there. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. Like, I think McVay and that whole offense, when healthy, it's tough to stop, bro, because there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of play action, a lot of you know what I'm saying, people going behind the line of scrimmage. And the only person I see is Matt Stafford, and who knows if y'all make it just because of the injury bug y'all got.
For sure. But we will.
That's the type of offense you got to have to try and go up against, a B-Flow defense. You got to shift motion, try to create confusion, for them on the offensive side. But at the same time, that can mess you up as well.
You do too much. You do too much. It can mess you up for sure.
Just kind of pick your battle, but you got to have an answer for what he's trying to do and try and pull some problems for them. You got to be the aggressor sometimes. Can't let him be the aggressor on offense. You got to try and be aggressive as well. So we'll go to some of the week 4 matchups in the NFL. We got some good matchups. Eagles at Buccaneers, Saints at Falcons, Rams at Bears, Vikings at Packers, should be going, Chiefs at Chargers, Bills at Ravens, and Seahawks at Lions. I don't know which games y'all looking forward to in week 4. So it's quite a few good ones. I think the Bills-Ravens, I think that's Sunday Night Football. That's going to be a good one. Ravens got back on track last week. Now they're going up against, what I would call, a top dog team in the NFL playing a quarterback who's playing lights out. So we're going to see what that defense is all about. Can you force him into a turnover, slow him down a little bit? Can Derrick Henry continue to run that football? Can that passing offense of the Ravens get consistent? Can that offensive line protect against Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, and all those guys? So it'll be a great challenge for the Ravens. I think that'll be a great game this week.
I think, bro, and I want to say Buffalo has played every game on primetime, if I'm not mistaken, except probably first game of the season, which was, which was a great game. Like, it ended up coming down, in the back half, it ended up with Arizona being a good game. But other than that, like, Buffalo really, if you in that Buffalo locker room and you a fan, I feel like you're, this is what the glory of being on a top team feel like, man. Just playing all these Sunday night football game, Monday night, Thursday night football games, like, you on prime time. And, so far, Josh Allen has not disappointed. And I think it's going to be a really big test for, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. We always talk about playoff ball kind of being a matchup. Like, if Cincinnati plays Kansas City, like, we think Kansas City in some trouble. I think it's one of those situations too. Like, if Buffalo play Kansas City, Buffalo's in trouble. Well, this is the matchup I feel like Lamar has to, or one of those QB battles that he has to overcome, right? Like, if they play Buffalo in the playoffs, do you go in feeling like, damn, like Lamar is like, we good? You know what I'm saying? And I think what they played, who knocked out Buffalo last year? I wonder. I'm going blank.
Who?
Was it KC? Yeah, Kansas City. So it's one of those things. Right. So it's one of those things, right? Like if I felt like, bro, if Buffalo would have made it past Kansas City, they were going to be in the Super Bowl because they were going, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're one of those teams that give Baltimore trouble. So I think this is the time now for, if you're a Baltimore Raven and you're a fan and you're a player on that team, this is the measuring stick of like, all right, we played Kansas City earlier this year. We came up a toe, you know what I'm saying? An inch of a toe short. But this is another team that could present us problems in January, and let's see how we figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Any other games y'all looking forward to? I mean, I know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was gonna say you go ahead.
Seahawks Lions. I think that's gonna be a fire one.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Atlanta with the Saints.
New Orleans,
ATL. I was gonna say gonna say Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah.
Because that'll be a game. Well, I mean,
do you play
Jordan Love gonna be back? I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna throw him out there against D-Flow. I don't know.
I will say that LaFleur's been doing a very good job with Malik Willis, bro. He's been doing a really good job with Malik. Now it's up to Malik Willis to be in that film room and try to figure out, you know what I'm saying, try to get himself ready for what this defense gonna present. But that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. And they in Green Bay. Can you just give us insight? Like what is that like, bro? I mean, obviously you've seen it. You've seen it from like you've seen it from the greatest of all time. What is that like when you out there and it's like, bro, y'all motherfuckers really trying to figure out what's going on, man? And that's the thing that a lot of people told me about Tom. Like that first half, he really just trying to figure out what all you in, what you going up, what you got going on, what disguises. And by the second half, when he figure out, you're done. So
yeah, I mean, it's just kind of figuring out what they're trying. It's because all this typically happens on third down. So every third down, just trying to get a feel for what they're doing. Go look at those iPads on every third down, whether the safeties are trying to give away the coverage, whether it's the corners giving away the coverage. There's going to be somebody that's going to tip it off. You just got to find that guy. You got what Tom was always excellent at doing is using his cadence, using motions to really get a picture of what's going on. There's some telltale sign to figure out that coverage, and your receivers got to be able to read it out too. Receivers, running backs, tight ends, so everybody has to be on the same page to execute, against that type defense. Because if you look at the tape, there's people open, on those clips. It's just your eyes just aren't in the right spot, and then by the time you find the guy and somebody's in your face, you're making an errant throw. So there's holes in the defense. Your eyes just have to find the right guy. So I think it's all about offensive coordinator, quarterback, everybody, trying to figure out those keys, and you got to scheme it up too. Like I said, you can't just be on the defensive side of it on offense. You got to be aggressive, maybe take some shots, maybe line it up, double move somebody to, create a big play. So there's opportunities there, but I will say Beat Blow, he does a great job of it. Even when he was in Miami, we played against him in New England, he gave us trouble with the cover zero and all that different type stuff. So he's always been very good at it. And look, if you can't pick it up and you don't figure it out, he's gonna keep sending it. He's not gonna stop. So that's what I give Flo credit for. He's not just gonna throw it once and then throw it in the trash can. He's gonna keep throwing it at you until you figure it out as an offense. And that's the challenge that he presents. And he's earned a lot of respect from a lot of good players across this league. And ain't nothing like getting that respect from your opponents. That's what it's all about. And
I wonder, did he learned this shit from Bill, or like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, he learned something from Bill, but everybody has their own flavor of what they want to do. You take some stuff from Bill, but maybe you like something a little bit more than what Bill likes, and when you get your opportunity, you call your stuff a little bit more. Like he loves the cover zero, the skies, and all that double mug. And look, man, it's working extremely well. Like I said, you got to have guys that are bought in, some smart players to do that type of stuff. Because if you don't, there's going to be plenty of wide open touchdowns going on if your guys aren't on the same page. So I think that's the good part about it. Guys are bought in to his scheme. So I'm gonna switch it up. We're going to go to social standouts here. I'll be remiss if we don't talk about this. We got to go to a clip. Now, I believe this was out in L.A. Now, what's going on with the fans, man? It seems like ever since either last year or 2 years ago, it's been a lot of fights going on inside the stadium, outside the stadium. I'm not sure what's causing these fights, whether it's the alcohol, whether it's the trash talking, whether your team's getting blown out. I don't know, but
they playing that club music.
We got to run this clip. Run a clip for him, man. What's going on with your Rams fans, Warren?
Hey, You hear? Hey, we get right, boy. We get active,
bro. Bro, it's
look, homegirl swinging and
screaming
all, like,
everything, man. Bro,
we get active, boy.
you know, it's crazy too. Like, and I've noticed with a lot of this stuff, it's all like rival, like
rivalry.
It's always
49.
rivalry stuff, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 49ers, you know, 49ers,
Didn't it?
Rams.
It just happened a couple weeks ago too. Like, I can't
It's
remember
happening like
what
every
game that
week,
was.
dog. It's a clip.
Well, yeah, almost every
It's
week.
a clip on social media every single week.
I seen somebody in the Raiders.
Yeah, it was the Raiders. Yeah,
getting active. I mean, they did get their ass whooped by Carolina, so that is something to fight about. But dang, man, what's in the alcohol, fam?
Nah, bro. Hey, it happens every time. You know, start playing Nook if you buck. Why? You know what I'm saying? Got a little drink in your system. Somebody about to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nah, I think the NFL got to do something though. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I know in the NBA, like certain stuff, like man, you get put on that ban list. You don't want to be on that list where it's like, nah, you ain't just banned from
this stadium
here, like you banned from every stadium. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the only thing that can, you know what I'm saying? Just, and I hate that it got to go to that extent, but bro, this is a sporting event that's supposed to, you know, it's supposed to bring
families there.
Families there. You got kids, you got kids there. All type of stuff going on, and I get it, bro. Like, I think all of us were appreciative of the passion that fans bring and the love that they have for their team, and in the midst of everything, like, it's cool to talk trash, right? Like, we all players. Sometimes that's what make the game what it is. Sometimes when you in Philly and you in New York or whatever the case is, you know, them teams don't like each other, or Cowboys and the Eagles, like. Talk y'all trash during the game, but once it's done, man, come on, everybody go their separate ways.
Yeah, but I think sometimes, like, and you can hear it in the clips. Maybe not this one in particular, but like sometimes, like, mugs get personal, bro.
Yeah,
and like, you know, calling each other B's and MFers and all that stuff. And some people don't take that. You know, some people don't take that kind of. And that's not trash talk. That's just being an a-hole. That's disrespectful, right? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm all for talking trash and whatnot, but just know, like, you know, you calling people out their name. It's repercussions to that because you talk to the wrong one. You know, things like that stuff happen. You know, things happen to get active. Yeah. So it's like you have to be able to learn how to talk trash the proper way and keep all the personal, the extra name calling and all that stuff out of it. Because a lot of that stuff I highly. And I don't want to say that because it is alcohol involved. So
it's definitely 95% of the time.
Yeah, people can get ticked off about the smallest things. But like, I mean, you would think that, you know, it wouldn't get sparked off by somebody just saying, "Oh, your team trash." You know what I'm saying? Nobody. I mean, it might be people out there, but like, it's when you start the name calling and all that extra talking about people's families and all that stuff and whatnot. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, I hate to say it like this because I know we all hate this when, you know, your girl, your wife say. It's just a game, you know, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like, look, it's tough to hear, but it is just a football game. It should never stoop to that level where we got to call each other out our names, talking about people, mama, daddy, this and that. Like, it should never.
PTSD, James. You already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, same PTSD too.
I mean, that's just a game, so that strike a nerve for sure.
Hey, especially when things ain't going like you wanted
to. Maybe that's why they fight. Somebody probably told them that. It's just a game, man.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all boys. It's just a game. Last night would have threw me over the edge, bro. If y'all think, bro. Yeah. Last night,
I'm talking about while we was playing 2K.
We were playing 2K.
No.
The last game, bro. It's just I gotta throw me over the edge, bro.
Hey, I'd have been kicked out. No.
Them definitely work. That hurt your pride right there. If you playing the game, you lose, and somebody hit you with that. It's just a game. It's tough, man. Before we wrap tonight, man, I'd be remiss if I don't talk about my guy Derrick Rose. He announced his retirement from the NBA. That's my favorite basketball player.
Shout out to the dog, to the
all
homie.
Time, man. Hate to see him go, but look, he battled injuries, you know, throughout the back half of his career. But man, early on, explosive. You know, helped lead the Bulls to, you know, some Eastern Conference Finals, and they couldn't get past my Heat and everything. But yeah, man, I wish he would have never got hurt, because I truly believe he could have been one of the. I still think he's one of the best, point guards ever.
For sure, I agree.
That little short span that he had, nobody can mess with him. Just the burst, the explosion, the athletic ability. I just remember watching him at Memphis his freshman year. I fell in love with him right at that point. Him taking his team to the national championship, they lost, but yeah, I'm like, who is this dude? If I ever was to be a basketball player, I can't jump like him. Nowhere near close. I would have wanted to play the game, just like him. So I don't know if y'all got any thoughts on Derrick Rose and his retirement.
Oh, for sure.
D Rose would have made a crazy receiver, just that bounce. Oh, would have been crazy. But nah, like you said, bro. I mean, I vividly remember him. You know what I'm saying? Bang. I'm talking about meeting people at the rim, banging out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just definitely one of the players that you kind of always think of, what if? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What if he didn't get hurt? Hate to see him go, but it's always he put his you know what I'm saying, he put his time in. He did everything for the game that he could. And hey man, enjoy retirement, dog. This is what it's about. I want to see him. I've seen him get on I think I seen a clip on Instagram of him on a podcast just talking about how his brother and stuff kind of shielded him from what I'm saying, that gang culture that we know of in Chicago. And for him to be able to stay get drafted by the Chicago Bulls and bring that type of, that fire and that love back. Warren, you a Bulls fan. Bring that energy back to the Bulls that we ain't seen since Mike left, right? So for him to do that, bro, job well done, and you deserve all the roses that you getting, man. Enjoy it.
For sure. I mean, enjoy.
You gotta say something.
I'm about to tear up Williams. I mean, but you talk about a guy that's changed the game, man. Somebody that changed the way, you want to play the game of basketball, the way kids want to play the game of basketball, want to be more explosive, want to be more aggressive. I mean, it was so much fun watching him play. Watching him play in college was a ton of fun, but just being able to watch him as a Bulls fan, I mean, was huge for me, especially during that time. Growing up, Michael Jordan was at the earlier, stage of my life, within early 90s and things like that. So I didn't get a chance to watch him as much. I got a chance to see highlights and things like that. But for me, the Bulls, legend I will always remember is Derrick Rose. Obviously remember Michael Jordan, but I didn't grow up during that time. Yeah. I grew up during Derrick Rose, you know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, that's huge. That was huge for me, and congrats to him, and enjoy retirement. But he will always be a legend anytime you mention the Bulls. Following obviously everybody following Michael Jordan, but he will always be remembered as a legend in the Bulls organization. So shout out to him, and definitely wish he would have never got hurt. That was one of the craziest NBA mixtapes. Bro. I vividly remember him punching out on Goran Dragic that one game, boy. When Goran was with the Suns, boy. Hey, bruh. Dude's filthy. Derrick Rose is filthy. And he'll mix you up, too.
He punched on somebody for the Heat, bro.
Damn. That was Joel Anthony, boy.
Joel Anthony, that shit was nasty. Bro, too, when you ain't playing the defense you supposed to, and you set your homie up, you gotta watch your dog get punched on, and everybody just looking at Joel. I'd have been that's you, bro. You got me jumping on that, but I think the Bulls definitely gotta retire that one, man. It's well deserved, for sure. You gotta retire that one. Sure.
Definitely. And I think his story is a great example for anybody, not just for sports, man. Battling, going through something, and still continue to fight, push your way through it, having to adjust your game, having to adjust your process to continue to do what you want to do. And he extended his career for quite a long time by making some adjustments to his game. So I think that's a great example for, many people, not just in sports, but in life. You're going to go through something, maybe get fired, something like that, or anything like that. You make some adjustment to your life, find a way to get back right and get back on track. I think Derrick Rose is a great example of that. But that's a wrap for this Money Down podcast episode. Like I said, we back again live Monday night, every Monday night, discussing the Monday night games and everything that's going on in sports and in life. Hope you guys keep tuning in, keep liking, keep subscribing. And we just need to sign a little partnership with Believe Network. So big things for us. gonna keep trending upwards, and I say it's all because of you guys. We appreciate the support.
Hey, before we close out, I gotta ask y'all boys one question. If Dallas lose this game tonight, does somebody get fired? Or you gotta make some changes?
Oh, McCarthy gone.
Already?
Ooh,
Already? They still one and 3?
You think in season gotta go?
Nah, I don't think so.
I'm just talking. I'm just a hot take.
That seat definitely getting hotter though. That seat starting to get on some flames.
Yeah. Hey, fam, 1 and 3, somebody gotta pay, bro. I don't know, but I don't know. But I want to ask y'all that. I don't know, bro. Somebody.
I think depending on how they finish up the season, Mike McCarthy might be gone. That's just my take.
I mean, if they don't make it to like the bowl or the NFC Championship, it's a wrap. That's it. Jerry not going for that.
But just Jerry world.
Yeah, it's definitely his world. He got that paper. He in control, man. Like I said, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Keep supporting, keep liking, and subscribing. Yes, sir.